guys, welcome to episode 19 of Thoughts with Thots. We have a very special guest here today. So first of all, we have my co-host Naomi Lynn. All her links will be below. And then we also have Rain back in the studio.
Back in the house.
She was on one other episode. We will link it somewhere if you want to catch her on that episode. But we are really excited to have her back. She is the best. And yeah, guys, so it's been a couple weeks.
We have been traveling.
Everybody's
We're
been
finally
traveling.
back in town at the same time.
Even our Thought Cisco.
Our queen Thought.
So yeah, I've been traveling way too much this year so far. Like I just realized it's March and I've barely spent any. I've spent less than half of my time so far in 2024 here. So I'm like, I kind of want to just relax now and stay here.
But you're going to be going to California again for whatever podcast?
Yeah, probably. But
Like
I'd
this
like to. Well, it's funny too because I feel like so much of my travel has just been to like U.S. cities, which I don't count. I know it counts as traveling, but like not really. But like I'll see like, you know, like a beautiful tropical place on TV, and I'm like, oh, I want to travel. I never travel, and then I'm like, yeah, you do. You just don't travel anywhere you want
to. It's for work. It's not.
Yeah,
like
I don't have any interest to go to
vacation.
Miami ever again in my life unless it's like something for work. Because I don't like the city. It's like ugly.
I get that.
Can we go to Miami?
What's fun in Miami? I think the people like I don't like Miami, LA, like these type of places. Like if I'm actually going somewhere to enjoy it, I want to go to like Paris, not Miami.
I get that. But Paris is still a city.
Paris is a city, but it's like it's
different.
Pretty.
It has like beautiful
LA is not
architecture.
pretty.
Not my favorite.
I mean, it's good if you want to visit like once or twice, but like it's not like you go to LA and you're like in the streets of LA, like, oh, how lovely the architecture, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to leave though. I low-key was sad to leave.
To where?
LA.
Oh, you like LA? What do you like about it?
I wanted to go there like for college. So when my family moved from the Philippines, half of them moved to LA and half of them moved to New York City. And like I was in the New York City side. So I'd visit my family in LA every year, and I just always planned to go to school.
I feel like it
there.
used to be better, and
Sure.
I am going to say like people who are denying that there is like a major uptick in like crime and stuff over a business owner, like pretty wealthy professional's house who has like a really nice home, like really legitimate, whatever, nice area, and his whole thing was like boarded up, and he's like, oh, someone broke in like 3 days ago or something and like pulled out all the, so he had to have like an electrician come and like and he had like 3 layers of security. They broke through the 50-pound like, and I was like, that's like just hitting a bunch of houses, and it's like it's like organized crime. And so like there's like no matter who you are, how much money, like where you go, like this is like a thing, and they're so organized that they like knew when he was leaving, probably followed his car, and then these people are serious like criminals, and it's like, can you imagine that here? Like, I've never once felt like, oh my gosh, someone's is gonna start hitting. It's like burglarizing the homes out around here. So LA is just having like a ton of issues like that aren't in cities like this.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
That's
we were
why I
just
moved.
That's why
in
you moved?
Beverly Hills.
A lot of people are moving out, especially people who are more affluent are actually the ones most likely to move out. So I wonder how
I'll
California
be straight then.
I wonder how California is going to look in like the next 10 years.
I'm hoping this like calms down.
Cuz it pisses me off because you know I'm liberal. I want the blue states. I want progressive policies passed, but the way like California and Oregon and Washington are doing it, it's failing because they're implementing it in ways that I think are just, and then it's making all of us look bad.
I agree. Washington is pretty bad also right now. It's just like just businesses, like anything, like nothing is safe really. Like,
Yeah,
That's
no.
interesting. You don't ever hear about Washington, so it's like
Oh,
kinda that
really?
same-
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay.
At least. I'm not really.
I feel like Washington is not as much organized crime as so much as like there's no. A part of it is like the homeless like population.
Yeah,
they
that's
have no repercussions for anything that they do. Like they could like attack somebody. They just don't have like the facilities for any of that.
Do you guys feel like there's more homeless people like out on the West Coast in the past like decade, or am I tripping? Because like growing up in New York City, like it was filled, I felt like, with like homelessness, and it was dirty, and there was a lot of like drug use like on the streets. And now whenever I go back as an adult, I'm like, New York City's like clean.
Really? I heard,
Yeah.
I heard they had a rat problem.
Well, okay, well that's
But it's really not that bad. It's not like you see like a rat here or there, but it's not like there's like 20
I'm
rats
just like,
running
where did
around.
all of
You see a
the
rat
homeless
here?
people go?
Yeah.
And then everyone always just, I don't know if this is true or not, but they're like, oh yeah, like they were all like moved out west. I'm like, what does that mean?
I have to look into that, but
Bet they
there's
came to
definitely a growing homelessness problem in places like California. I agree, both Oregon and Seattle. Like my friend is up at corporate at Nordstrom, so he's in Seattle for that. And like Nordstrom's literally like closing their San Francisco store. They're closing certain stores because they're like, there's nothing that can be done with all these people that just come in and take things.
Yeah.
And even I think isn't it in California now that if you shoplift under $1,000, then it's like, what is
We
it?
talked about that last time.
You can shoplift up to
Yeah.
$1,000. They're not going to charge you with a misdemeanor. They're not going to arrest you. And then even if you do burglary or shoplift, they release you the same day, and they give you up to 3 times to do it until they take you like really charge you.
So that's just like enabling. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So it's really annoying because I just feel like as human beings, our species is just so dumb. Like we take a serious issue, which is injustice in our justice system, police brutality, those type of things. And then we just like the pendulum swings too far, and now it's like, oh,
And then
you
it's
can
like,
just commit crimes.
put everybody in prison.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys feel like, so when you look at the reasons for like putting people in prison, there's like rehabilitation, deterrence, punishment, and I forgot what the fourth one is. There's 4. Maybe I'll look it up while you guys answer. Do you feel like punishment should even be a reason? Like I don't. I feel like it should just be like deterrence, rehabilitation. I don't believe in like punishing people, but I know that's why a lot of people don't think that way. Like people do believe like you deserve to be punished.
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
I think it's very situational.
Yeah.
I think in certain scenarios, punishment should be. It's just like you're taken out of society, so that alone is punishment, right? Like you don't have
Yeah.
like as much food as you
But
would.
punishment for the sake of, so I know punishment is a deterrence. It deters people, right? Because nobody wants to be punished, and being put away is being punished. But do you feel like this, and it's a very natural human inclination to be like, you should, like, do you believe that people, because there's people who even like say like, oh, conditions in prison don't matter, solitary, these things don't matter because these people did the crime and now doesn't matter what happened, they deserve to suffer. I don't
feel that way. I mean, so people that are facing life, okay, so, and like this is such a hard topic for me because like,
Does it matter like on the crime? So like sex offenders.
Yes.
Honestly,
That's
there's sex offenders in prison get got all the time. That's why they have to go into protective custody. 'Cause
for
that's,
sure.
That's like a no. Like you're not allowed to be in there.
Isn't
Right.
protective custody is it like solitary?
Protective custody is usually like 23-hour a day, and most
That's like
sex offenders are
torture.
in there. Yeah, but like where are they gonna go? Wherever they
Yeah.
go, another prisoner is gonna try to kill them.
That's interesting because I know that there's like a prison morality system, and it seems, what is it, like crimes against children, sex
Crimes
And
against
women.
children. I mean, everybody has their own thing. Every state has their own thing, but also it's like in there, like you can acquire debt with another prisoner, or like if you're gambling, or if you have a drug issue, you know, people get in trouble for a lot of crap
Yeah.
in there.
I mean, I think to answer the question as easy as like I can, if you are only facing a few years and like you're planned to be out like on probation or whatever, like in society again, I think there should be more of a focus on rehabilitation
Yeah,
because
100%.
that's the whole point of like you're doing time, you're reflecting on what you did, right? Yes, you're out of society, but that time should be used to make you a better person, to come back into society and be like,
Yeah, I know.
do better,
I
you know?
100% agree. But so I guess the argument here is for, I guess, people like me is that it's very hard because our natural inclination, and even mine, like if someone were to hurt anybody in this room, I'd be like, fucking suffer.
Yeah.
But if I'm thinking about it logically, like everybody, I think I've said this before, look at people as just like lucky or unlucky based on their circumstances, their genetics. Like some people, they really don't have like the ability to regulate their emotions, or they aren't able to have restraint. Like it's like to me, it's like I don't know if like Jeffrey Dahmer should suffer. I don't want him in society.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he should suffer.
I agree. I think this is something we talked about, Cisco, a couple weeks ago, of like, there's no reason in general that anyone in prison or jail should be treated inhumane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Regardless of anything, of like what their crime is. I personally just don't believe in that.
But he just said sex offender.
I do agree
No,
with the sex
No, like,
offender.
I'm saying, well, I agree. I don't agree.
Okay,
And
what
that's
do you have
totally.
to say, Rhea?
I was just gonna say, like, Cisco and I were having a conversation the other day about, like, he was talking about how people in prison kill sex offenders and stuff, and I was like, I kind of like that. Like, I just
Do you
kind of
like that because it now they're not in society anymore to harm others, or do you just feel like they deserve to die?
I don't know. I don't think anybody deserves to die, but oopsie, I just kind of think that it can't be taken back. Like, you did something so bad. Like, you really have, like, there's like a point of no redemption, I think, but it's just there's so many blurred lines in that can't really. Like,
There's definitely a point of no redemption.
yeah.
Agree, but that's like a between prisoners thing, not like a system thing from like the prison itself. It's not like the prison itself is saying like, okay, y'all are like the mass killers, like go ahead, like get out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
and then it's just like the practical, like
that's
it's
just
gonna.
them
It's
doing what they're gonna
I'm never
do.
gonna like go up
I
to a
agree.
family where like their child was killed and be like, well, and they're like, I want this person to suffer, and I'm gonna be like, well, we don't really have like free will, and you're just neurons that are firing around, and it's not there. I'm not gonna do that, right? But like, I feel like it. I'd wonder if we're ever gonna get to a place where, as a society, we like understand this more, because we already have a little bit of it. Like, if someone has a tumor in their, what if someone has a tumor in their head and that's what caused them to offend? Do you feel differently then? Because some people, and I would put myself in this camp, think like when basically we're all of us are just walking around with a tumor that's causing us to do whatever we do. But it's really hard to conceptualize that in like practical living, because we can clearly see that you have more control. We feel like we have more control over our actions than someone who's suffering from some type of like Down syndrome or something. So, but it's interesting because do we? I'm getting too philosophical here.
Ooh, this is very philosophical.
Yeah, mental disorders, I feel like, even though a tumor isn't necessarily a mental disorder, I feel like it does kind of like change things in a lot of circumstances. But I mean, obviously it doesn't make it right, but I feel like it does like soften the blow on them a little bit, because it's like chemical imbalances and shit are a real thing, and people really can act out of character.
If prison and jail wasn't a business, I think it'd be a lot different.
I think so
Like
too.
Singapore and those countries, jail's not really a business for them. So that's probably why they're just like straight to the point. Like, listen, we're just gonna cane you if you shoplift 6 times. If you do it again, death penalty. Because like we don't have a business for prison, so there's no reason to keep you around. You're just taking up space. But in America, prison is such a huge business. They actually determine, like, is it worth more for us to keep you in prison or for us to even fight your case? And they kind of, like, think about it like that, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Because they make money the longer you're in there.
Yeah.
I know. I was gonna say they profit
Philippines, like
off of
drugs. If you're caught with drugs in the Philippines, like you're out.
Yeah.
There's no like go to court. There's no.
they'll kill you in the street.
You're literally killed right then and there.
Is
That's
that for
insane.
users or just dealers?
Both.
If you're caught with
The
drugs.
president started that.
Yeah, I
He
remember.
just
I remember
has
hearing
nuts.
that. I just didn't know exactly how it was. And obviously that's insane, I think. Because when people are like, "Oh, all we want is to get people off the streets," then yeah, sure, make the death penalty the death penalty for jaywalking, and people will jaywalk less, but is that proportionate, right?
Yeah.
Proportional.
Like if that was in America, that we would be all fucked.
Yeah.
Like
I also
rules.
wonder if it's not like for instance, like Oregon right now decriminalized drugs. I wonder if that just because the rest of the neighboring states haven't, that people who, because like I actually thought about this when I was doing my sex work debate on the Whatever podcast with like Lila, Trent, and Destiny. And it is true that when areas where prostitution is legal or decriminalized, there is higher rates of trafficking. And part of the reason for that is if you want to traffic somebody, you'll go to those places where that trafficking is still illegal. But so I wonder if like places like Oregon that have seen like such a spike in this stuff is also because people are going there because they won't face as harsh. I don't know. I'm literally making that up. I could be wrong. I would love some information on the comments. If you guys know of anything, I'm going to probably do research on it. Maybe give a little update next week.
That makes sense though, because even with the people in New York moving west, it's because the penalties for that kind of stuff is less.
Yeah, I mean Florida, like even places like Miami, they don't have this because Florida does not play with like Florida. Every single cruel and unusual punishment case we read came out of Florida or Texas in law school. Like they just try to put everybody to death.
Have y'all ever looked up your birthday and then like crime in Florida?
Why?
It's a fun game because like Florida has the most whack shit. Like if you hear a weird or you see a weird article, you're like, oh, it probably happened in Florida. Like
yeah, for sure. But I will say Florida is not facing this like crime spree the way like California is, because there's harsh penalties in Florida for things like that. So you're not seeing as many or maybe they're just congregated in it. But like a city like Miami, you don't feel like, oh my gosh, everywhere I'm going, like people are breaking into houses or there's homeless, people. And it's not the homeless people's fault. So it's not me trying to blame them. But like if you're trying to pick a place to live and like you live in a multi-million-dollar home in California and there's just gangs breaking into your home and you go outside and there's like fentanyl needles. It's like versus if you were to live in like Texas or I think Nashville. And it sucks because these sound like such like redneck places. And I don't want the world to become where like red states are like better to live in than blue states. I don't want that because I'm blue. I'm a blue girl. Mm-hmm. So, but at the same time, me living here now, Arizona's a red state. I was in blue states my whole. Well,
Arizona's blue right now.
Yeah, it's blue.
I mean, we're like purple, I would say.
Yeah,
this like the valley, I think, is blue, but Arizona's typically definitely a more conservative state than than I always say like I turned it blue, but I'm like, oh God, I would never live in Oregon, Washington, or California right now. I'd live in places in California. I'd live in like San Diego. I'd live in some areas, but even then, I'm like. Then the reason I don't want to go there is the fucking income tax.
So expensive.
San Diego's red too, super red.
Yeah, but I hate that like the red area in California is like a better place to live because the blue areas fucking suck now because people. But I wonder if because of that overcorrection that we did that obviously fucking failed that they'll start swinging back. I mean, you look at does anybody like Gavin Newsom? Like, I think nobody likes him.
No,
like literally not a single person likes him.
LA and San Francisco, it's so dense there.
Phoenix is so big.
Yeah,
like it's not like literally I think this is like the first
dense.
Downtown I went to where there's always ample parking in Phoenix. Like that's just so like you will never be like, oh, I'm looking, but any other like major city you go to, you're like, I'd rather just leave my car on the street and like, who cares, get a new car before I try to find parking.
That's funny. I literally brought that up to Cisco the other day. I was like, there's so many parking garages and there's just so many like
spots. Yeah. And you need a car. Even if you live like heart of the city in Phoenix, you need there's not like a good public transportation system and everything's like far. Whereas like
everything's like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Whereas if you live like downtown Seattle, like there's a Whole Foods like across the street from you that you can walk to. Whereas like here, you're going to be driving like 7 minutes at least.
Yeah, but I think they overcharge for valet here. Everything's $20. Like in Beverly Hills, it's free or $10.
That's the thing that I don't understand about here is like they're trying to be the next like LA or Vegas with everything. And they're like, they're making everything so expensive that like doesn't even need to be. Because they're trying to like push that exclusivity. Like, oh, we're Scottsdale. Like,
really? I never leave the house.
Even going out in Old Town, like sometimes they're like, you have $4,000 for a table. I'm like, you got me fucked up. This is Scottsdale. Like,
yeah, that's
there's a good way in flip-flops right
there's like 20 tables open. Like, there's no
I can't imagine paying $4,000 for a table in Scottsdale.
I literally laughed in their face. I'm like, you have 20 open tables. Like, what do you mean?
That's crazy. I did not know those were the prices. For what?
For exclusivity at a bar.
For them to bring the signs and go like this?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you just
I would literally pay for someone not to do that.
When I was not sober, I used to be like that guy, but
Really? Yeah, no, I like when they do that and they bring like this, I am like, I would literally be like, hey, here's money. Like, don't come and do that. Like,
Yeah.
it's so embarrassing and cringy.
That's-
I mean, people should have their fun, but
No, we have to do it once with Rain. We have to. We brought Rain to her first club in San Diego. And when I tell you, like, I loved this club. It was like all old people.
I
We
saw
walked in
on your
on my vlog.
Yes.
It was like live music and
I never click on your vlogs, but like that
Oh,
picture
thanks.
or whatever on your well, no, I mean, I just
Asshole.
never, I never like click. I don't watch my own shit. Like I just don't, because when I'm like off, I'm off. I don't want to see anything that's related, which is kind of annoying because I like politics and stuff. But now that like I could end up debating somebody, I don't want to watch their content because I'm trying to like take the time off. So when I like, but that picture was so funny of you in that line, and you're like. And I was like, I gotta watch this now.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious.
yeah, no, I had such a good time. The first song they were playing when we walked in there was Blow the Whistle by Too Short. And I was just like, ain't no fucking way. But all the people on the dance floor were like, what? Like at least in their 50s? Like at
50
least
plus.
in their 50s. 10 years older
That sounds
than
like my
him.
kind of club.
And I had so much fun. I loved it.
I want to be at a club with
I hit the
50-year-olds.
Cupid Shuffle like with all the old people.
I wish I would have gotten into it more. I was kind of grumpy that night, but
That
I
was gonna be
definitely.
before we went. We like rotated.
Yeah, I was just like I kind of get like social anxiety a little bit, and I don't know why. I was just like not on it that night for sure. But I have like never. I like it's so weird. I can't even fathom spending that much because I don't drink. I don't go to clubs. It's just so.
Oh, me
like,
neither. Yeah. I think it's so.
I only go to tables like I've never
the
paid for my own
experience,
table.
yeah.
Like people just invite you. Like if you were in a club, like someone would come up to you and be like, "Hey, like come to this table, you get free drinks, whatever you want." Because like
Yeah,
you're a
pretty
pretty
girls
girl,
don't have to pay.
you don't have to pay for
We're
anything.
the-
So
we're
the
the
fact that
guys-
they said that to me,
I
the fact that
spend
they,
so much money.
the fact that they were like
Crazy.
$4,000, I was like, who the fuck are you talking to?
Well,
That's
it's
crazy.
I'm the one paying for the tequila in the back. Like,
He's paying the $4,000
Like,
for the
absolutely.
table. What is the most you've ever spent at a club?
me and some friends went to Vegas, and in 2 nights we spent like 200 grand.
That just like it blows my mind. I can't even like comprehend it.
Yeah, we spent like 200 grand in 2 nights.
Yeah.
Not nice.
Cisco and
Yeah,
his
seriously.
friends though are like on one when they go to Vegas.
That's
Still
what I'm
like
doing.
200.
I feel
good.
so much better about my spending habits.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm like, I've been there. I've done that. I've been around everything. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I worked with a client.
What do you even get at? Like 200,000 and then 3 days later, you just have memories?
Wolf on Wall Street.
You don't
That
even
whole-
have
that
the
whole-
memories.
that whole
Yeah, you
section-
don't
you
that whole part
like
of
wake
Vegas,
up from this
for
blur.
Sure believe that. But I worked with a client who flew me out to work with him. He paid me 30 grand. He spent like $500,000 in one day. In one day, he spent $500,000. And they brought out like the whole marching band came out in Omnia, and they brought out his picture, and he gets like a big old.
I
sign.
literally
I
wouldn't
feel like
even
that's like
spend
making
200
yourself
grand.
a target.
I
too,
wouldn't
don't
even
know.
spend
Yeah.
200
Oh,
grand
I
to
know what you
like
mean.
tour the world and like see everything. Like I still would be like, it can't cost 200
I
grand.
live such a simple
That's-
life. Like I can't even. Yeah, I can't really fathom that either. Like I
Yeah.
spend my daily spending. I wake up
Don't judge me.
Celsius.
Judging.
I feel bad.
I work out. I get my protein shake, and then like maybe I'll get Chipotle. Smooth Marriott. I'm good. Bonvoy points. I got the Bonvoy points.
Yeah, let's stay at someplace nice if I'm paying. But if she was paying, she'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna stay at Super 8."
No,
But we showed up and
I literally-
we like had
I
to take a
can't.
cart to even get to our villa. Like
no, that's, I mean,
Insane.
that's literally,
I
but
get it though. Like even eating out, people are like, "Oh, you spend all your money on food." I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'd rather have food that's already made for me rather than take the time to make it because
Yeah.
it's just like a convenience thing and like
Yeah.
what's the ROI?"
Yeah,
exactly.
time is valuable, so why not? Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
I always am like, oh my gosh, I have so much in my bank account. I have a maximum that I've been able to put away in retirement and blah, 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 blah. And I have and then every time I say that, like somebody smart will be like, yeah, but look at how much you made. And then compare, because like I'll be like, well, compare me to other 20. And they're like, no. We're not comparing you to the average 29-year-old that doesn't even make 100 grand a year. With how much you make, you should be putting way more, like a lot more away.
But it's on the lifestyle you want to live for yourself and what
Yeah.
makes you happy. So
Yeah.
like
I know the things I would cut, which is probably the material stuff.
Yeah,
because the material stuff doesn't even bring you joy.
And also, guys, when I spent like that, I was also like an extreme alcoholic. In that, so.
We know.
It's not your typical.
She's all, what do you even have from that trip? Memories? I'm like, not even that.
That's what I was gonna say.
He just looks back at his camera roll.
I'm like, oh yeah.
Once a day.
You have a story to tell on Thoughts with Thoughts now. Should we look at comments from our so for those of you, if this is your first episode that you're joining, we always respond to previous comments that were on our last video. And our last one, the thoughts have heated debate. Oh my God, someone said something. What was it? I gotta look at this because somebody had like the funniest thought-provoking with THOT. We should use that sometime.
Oh, that is
like
cute.
that.
Yeah.
Thought-provoking or something.
Comments or
yeah,
question.
thought-provoking. Okay.
We had a lot of
could be
comments
like
on
a
this
segment.
episode. Maybe it was the laser beams that caught their attention.
And some of them are so like irrelevant. Like, what were we talking about? Like, people like whether you should
TradCon.
Yeah, TradCon or like and like being like how to split the duties in the home and men being a leader.
Yeah.
And some people literally are like, you can't be slow enough to think men would date you because you do OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like, what?
No,
I was like, did I miss what we talked
always
about?
goes back to that. Yeah, no, it's always like you'll never find a husband who will love you and
Should we give a
respect
shout
you.
out to Lonnie
That's just
Davis?
mad people. Yeah.
I love Lonnie Davis. He comments like 8 times a day on my shit. It's sad that the fans of Jasmine enjoy her profanity, laughing at God worshiping themselves, ignoring the horror at a church, Kansas City Chiefs parade. Like, I pray for them.
Oh my God.
What? So
Okay.
interesting.
Anything
Yeah.
Anyways, the comment that I picked out was monogamy itself. Okay, because we talked about do we want to be monogamous or something like that, or like can we be monogamous while doing sex work? So this one is monogamy in itself. Or wait, fuck. Maybe I'm dyslexic. Monogamy itself, in a way, is based on sexual exclusivity. Giving up having sex with people that are not your partner is what a monogamous commitment is. OF models essentially want a one-sided, open relationship where they label their cheating as work. Do you agree with this? Because even we talked about Sky Bree and like her ex, like she doesn't film boy-girl content anymore, but she filmed boy-girl content in the past and she still sells it. So like for those examples, is that still technically like cheating? Do we think that what we're
It depends
doing?
what they think is cheating. Some people think it's cheating to like someone else's picture. Some people think it's not even cheating unless you. Some people, like, I've learned a lot. I've recently met a lot of people, and I've known some people before, but not as many as this, who are in poly relationships or open relationships, and they'll use the term cheating. And at first I was like, okay, what's cheating to them? And cheating will be things like, oh, okay, like the rule is that we like tell each other if we sleep with a new person. And if you don't tell them, then that's cheating. Mm-hmm. But so even sleeping with people is not the problem. It's like not telling them. But then now so cheating can be like anything depending on what two people agree upon. Now, there are some things that I think are unreasonable. Like, it's unreasonable to think it's cheating to have like friends of the opposite gender. Like, I think that's unreasonable. But in some relationships, that could be characterized as cheating. But yeah, reselling old videos, I don't know. I feel like that I wouldn't consider that cheating in any way.
You said like even theoretically, like if you were in a monogamous relationship, you're not.
Yeah.
But if you were in a monogamous relationship with your filming partner, and that's a bad example. If you were in a relationship but you were still filming with your filming partner and you didn't have any romantic feelings, would that still just be work? Like that, they're saying even though it's labeled as work for us, it would be cheating because then you're not monogamous.
Oh, so are you asking if you can call yourself a monogamous?
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Are you like would most people still consider you monogamous? I think so. Like if I'm asking porn stars whether they're monogamous, I'm not saying, and do you not sleep with anyone else on camera? I kind of mean off camera, just because I see this as such a job, and you guys clearly do too. But I think from an outside perspective, that might be more difficult to.
Someone that's like not in the industry doesn't understand it.
Even the two, what is it, Adam 22 and his, I remember on one episode of whatever I saw them on, they were like, she was like, if it's not on our calendar, then it's cheating, because they have like their shooting calendar like ready to go. And so even them, even I guess they're not considered monogamous, but if they're monogamous off camera and you knew them off camera, like I would see them as like a monogamous couple who just shoots for OnlyFans.
I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm like right in the middle, because I feel like in my head, like if you're not monogamous, that means you are sleeping with other people. So I feel like just by that definition, you are non-monogamous. But
Yeah, she's right.
I don't think that it is technically cheating. I think you're non-monogamous, but I don't think it's cheating. That's like in the confines of your own relationship, how you define that. But
Is having threesomes non-monogamy?
see, because I'm straight, I feel like having sex with girls is like a whole different ball game for some reason.
So if the dude has sex with a dude, it's okay?
If I'm there, yeah.
But what if he's into dudes?
See, I don't know. But see, there's so many blurred lines and stuff like that. It's so hard.
Also, I've noticed a lot of times men are okay, because there's a lot more bi women, I guess, and a lot of men, when they're in relationships, they will let their girlfriends be with other women, but not men.
Because they're like, oh, that's so hot.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like a fetish
own,
thing.
I feel like for their own,
or they don't feel like it's threatening. They don't feel like it's threatening to them. Like, you know, it's like, oh, it's maybe, you know what I mean? Like, oh, she's not going to leave me for a girl,
maybe,
or
but
this girl's not going to fuck her better than, or not going to have a bigger dick than me because she doesn't have a dick or something.
I'd steal her.
Can I ask a question though?
Yeah.
So they're mad at Skybree or whatever at this whole situation because she still sells videos with other men. What if she didn't own the video? Because she did do porn. So is she never monogamous for the rest of her life because the porn company will sell videos of her with other men?
Wait, was this just about her selling videos, or was she still making content when she was in a relationship?
No. She wasn't making content when she was in the relationship at all.
Oh, then no.
So this just came out. I was watching Raw Talk, and she was on with her ex again, and they were on like that was the first one we watched when we reacted to it, when they were first breaking up. And then like last week they did another one, and they live together now. They're broken up. They live together. They still make content together. But she was going to sell an old video from 2 years ago and label it as new because no one's ever seen it before from her page. The other dude that was in the video already sold the video. So it's out on the internet already. It's just she was labeling it as new. So it was like, oh, well, that's disrespectful.
I can't imagine dating someone who is like, you can't even profit off of like.
So
I was gonna
you
say
made
that's
2
so
years ago.
insecure. Yeah.
even if it was made a day before they got back together, it shouldn't matter. That's like me saying, oh, you're an actress and you kissed a guy on film, like an Oscar-winning film, and you're not allowed to kiss guys. Obviously, like that would be cheating.
So we can't
And
ever
the whole
play
thing
this
is,
movie.
like, he knew she was a porn star when he started dating her. Like, he said it too. He's like, I knew what I was getting into. It's just like it started to really wear at me because all the comments and people tagging me and things and all of that, and that's what really like broke it down. Because like, I don't know. I kind of do believe they like each other.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't know why these women put themselves in these situations. Like, if you do porn or you do OnlyFans, don't date guys who are like,
Well, he was fine with it at first, though, is the thing.
no, but he probably, okay, maybe I would have caught the red flags about a guy who's fine with it.
I know. I still need that like PowerPoint from you for like dating.
No, like to me, it's like I noticed this. Like there's so many OF girls or porn stars, and you know it's their lives, but they'll date somebody who's like, oh, I don't like that you do this. It's okay, but I don't love it. Even someone who says that, out.
Well, they're all in their 20s. They're all usually like, oh, but he's so cute, and we're so perfect for each other, and we get the same type of socks.
But
I think a lot of it was just he was intrigued by her, and then like they were obviously doing it because both of them had like. He's upcoming in content creation. Like she already has a name, so it's more of like to make content and like make it blow up. And then they actually started liking each other. But at first he was fine.
I think this will never go away with when people have like, and if there's something that bothers me, it doesn't go away for me either. But like something like that, like do you really want to date a guy who forever has an issue with your online presence when you're both online? Like, and how, and like, that is not something that he's just going to wake up one day and be like, actually, I feel totally fine about this. And she's always going to have this, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, oh, should I not sell this video from before? Like, just, yeah. And it's harder once you've met and you develop feelings. So I would say in the beginning, make sure.
And I was also going to say, like, the fact that the comments and stuff wore him down over time, I feel like that kind of shows that he was insecure from the beginning, because that doesn't just, I mean, it's got to come from somewhere, at least a little bit. I mean, he could have been like okay with it, but there probably was some like,
yeah, even like me, even, it's not even my type, but I don't think I would ever date anybody like online who like streams or something, because all they're gonna get is bombarded with like my porn shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard in these settings, because like this guy is probably getting bombarded with comments and all that. So you either have to be like really like, I don't give a fuck, which there are some people like that, or you need to just be kind of away from it. Well, yeah, you're in it, so.
Well, yeah,
No,
I
but
think
my ex, I would sell her videos with old dudes. I was like, oh, I was like, you don't have a better picture of it? Isn't there a better picture of you with this guy? And I'd be like selling it for her.
Yeah, see, I need to, like, somebody, like, it has to be like maybe not as extreme, but like almost as extreme as that, to be how supportive they are.
Yeah.
Like, this is cool. I want you to get your money. How can I how can we get you more money? Blah, 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 blah. Like, that is the only mindset I will tolerate dating, because the last thing I want to do is like, even if he's like, oh, I guess I'm okay with it, or, oh, I don't love it, but you know, I think I can work. No.
I think the only issue that comes to my head a lot is like kind of the same scenario as that couple of like Nick and Sky Bree. Is like, he was intrigued with her in the beginning. He was okay with it in the beginning, like, because it doesn't, like, how do we get to that point then where it starts to like wear at them? You know what I mean? Like, at first, if they're okay with it, then do you just take their word, or like?
No, there are other signs, I'd say. Like, just saying, oh yeah, I guess it's fine on a first date is not really, there's no way that everything was fine and then one day he woke up and what.
No, he took a little by little.
Yeah.
She's the one that changed. He didn't change.
Yeah.
Right? So he had to incrementally be like, hey, you know what I was thinking? And then they just ask for an inch. He doesn't ask for a mile, he just asks for an inch.
Yeah.
And now she's not filming with anybody just to be with, she probably really likes him, but she's shutting down all her money for this one dude.
There is ways to tell. There are definitely ways to tell. Like, even in my dating, I've noticed that, especially if they like kind of like automatically, like, we talk about it and they talk about like their red line or their boundaries, or like, oh yeah, I could totally date a girl who's OnlyFans, but I just wouldn't want to be in the content or something like that. And they say what they believe and everything, and then they act on it. Like, to me, I look at also their behavior. Like, do they get uncomfortable if I say, oh, I'm going to go film? Do they like, and if you can gauge pretty quickly if someone actually doesn't care, or if someone just said they didn't care in the beginning because they thought it was the right answer.
Even like micro expressions and stuff, if they're not verbal with it, you can kind of start to.
At the last pod.
What?
Like, talking about it on the first date versus not talking about it on the first date. Remember you said you met with someone and you're like, I wanted to wait till we were in person so that I could manipulate them into
not with the OnlyFans, with the BG content.
Yeah, no. Sure.
But yeah, I definitely think, like, as early as possible, talk about it and see how they feel. And it is okay for someone to not like it.
Yeah.
It is completely fine. Like, it's not like it's a morally inferior position in either direction. But you just want to find someone who shares your principles and your values. And obviously, even there are some guys who are like totally okay with OnlyFans and are totally supportive of it, of the abstract, but they just have like jealousy issues or whatever type of issues they have. And they're not bad people for that, right? It's not like girls who let their boyfriends do whatever they want are necessarily better girls or cool than girls who get more jealous. As long as they handle it well, then that's okay. But something about trying to control your partner.
I agree. Yeah. I think people are kind of built for specific relationships. Like, some people need to be in a relationship with this kind of person. And so many like people just try to force themselves together, and it just gets like messy and like not.
Dumbest question that they say a lot of times on the Whatever podcast is, and they think this is so good. They're like, if a guy, whatever you're making on OnlyFans, was going to pay you that, would you quit OnlyFans? And these girls actually look at it. I'm like, I mean, is there a contract that he's going to continue paying it forever? Because what are you going to do in 1 year or whenever he decides, I want a new girl now, and you just gave up your whole business for it? Like, no. And then there was literally even at the house I was just at, like a girl standing there. She's probably like an Instagram model, something. She's really pretty. And then I don't know who the fuck this guy was, but it's like he's running the show, not her. Like, so a lot of these women, it's like almost like they don't want to run the show, and it's just so not my personality type that I would, like, even if I had a manager, it would be like me talking over him, me like, you know, me trying to force myself to let them give me their opinion. But some of these girls, it's like they just want to be in the backseat.
Like a lot of those guys, like that's the only reason like they get into it though, is just like
to manipulate.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
she was managed by a very horrible team.
Yeah.
Before me.
You?
Yeah. Yeah. They like
completely ruined her page. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hear too many stories like that.
I had
Horror
like
stories.
30,000 subscribers, and like they just were stealing money and like doing.
Very well.
Yeah, I was doing better than I am now because I started over from like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were like stealing money
yeah.
and just like
All I hear is terrible story. It almost seems like if you're gonna do manager, to do the like 1 man or 2 man, like actual, instead of like these companies or these management teams that hire blah 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 blah. It seems like those ones are always horrific.
It's way more. Yeah, it's way more personal. It's just like you can tell, like Cisco, like he wants to help. He doesn't want like him. Like
he literally
wants
offered to
him
clean
do
my
good,
house
but-
when he first came. He's like, "You want me to come over tomorrow and clean?"
Jerk is so funny.
People don't say jerk
And well, it's just awesome.
You're showing your age. What was that song? Like, you're a jerk. Are you guys
You're a
young?
jerk. Yeah.
Jasmine, you're 3 years older than me.
She's not.
Yeah, maybe, but
I'm literally turning 26 this week.
I love the person, seen all 17 brawls. I love it. Thank you. There's also some people that are like, this is like shout out to all the people that are like all caught up, 17 hours total and always want more. We really love you guys. And these are the kind of comments that makes us keep going. Okay, so here's one. Why does JJ, me, I'm assuming, see a big difference between making a living from the sexual desires of many people versus one person? That one person may not necessarily want power over their lover. I get that, but it's like you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket for a reason. You should be putting it into multiple baskets. Even if you're doing any job, like if the job isn't stable, you want multiple streams of income, because anytime you put all your eggs in one basket or you put your entire financial security into one thing, you are risking it. Whereas if you have 10, like if you have us and you have thousands of people, kind of, you lose one, you even lose 25% of your whatever, you still have something. Whereas if you're completely dependent on one person, then it is just, by definition, it's just more risky. That's why. So, because that's something people say. They're like, oh, if you don't want to get married for money, but you want thousands of men paying your bills, is that the same thing? I'm like, no, because I'm putting my eggs in 1,000 baskets instead of one dusty ass.
and then you're not also tied to them.
Yeah,
like that's
exactly.
like the biggest drawback too.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, not the biggest, but like,
No, that is probably the biggest. I would say. So I guess that's the answer to
I'm
that one.
TradCon, so I would like a man to take care of me, like.
But you're
princess
also
that I
like,
am.
if you also are running a business and you're taking
facts.
care of yourself. You're not out here like, how do I find a husband to take care of me? You're not focused on that. I see you. You're all the time focused on your content, how you can make money. You're a hard worker. You are not, one of those, oh, I don't want to do anything. How do I find someone to just take care of me? Your plan is like, I want to eventually get married, settle down, and like have children and then focus on that. I don't even think you would be like the stay-at-home girlfriend thing. I can't even imagine you doing that. I can't imagine you like literally sitting at home and like.
unless you're working from home.
Yeah.
Even when my ex like made good money. My like ex was in the NFL. Like he made good money. I was still working my corporate job.
Yeah.
Making my own. And that's what it was so funny because everyone's like, oh, you just have life on easy mode, like blah, 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 blah. And I would like post at work all the time with my little headset.
I feel like then their end goal has to be that, like the TradCon, or not even that, but just like because I wouldn't classify you as that.
The
Trad-
trad?
It's like
No,
an
it's like a
ongoing
joke.
joke.
Yeah, it's like a
It's
joke.
Oh, okay, cool. I was
It's
like,
secret trad
seems
con.
Your
a
secret
little
trad
bit. Yeah, I
She's
feel
like,
like
a man should lead.
oh, yeah. But
That's just hot to me. I just like it.
I think to an extent, I definitely agree to
Take me
that.
by the neck and just tell me what you want.
Okay, she's not even track con. She's like,
Horny.
She's freaky.
yeah.
Horny.
She's like, because I think the track con woman would be like, oh dear.
Yeah.
So you would be like, I'm thinking like track cons, like Lila Rose would be like, oh. Tell us about the speeding ticket.
Yeah, so I met Cisco and Rain out in San Diego. I was supposed to fly, and then I ended up driving last minute because I'm like, I don't feel like packing like little carry-on. Like it just
Kill me, yeah.
It was like a very last minute thing because I didn't know I was gonna go, and then I was gonna go, and then I wasn't gonna go, and then I was gonna go, so I went. And you guys know, like, I'm a good driver.
I don't know. I've never played with you.
I stopped at Gila Bend to get McDonald's because it was a Friday. Got my chicken nuggets, vlogged it, everything. So I get back on the road because I was already running late. I left like an hour and a half late. So I get back on the road. I can't say how fast I was going because the cop was like, I can't even say how fast you were going, like on my body camera, like I'll get in trouble. But basically, I was driving and there was this car parked on the side of the road. It was an unmarked cop car.
Yeah.
It was just a gray truck. Like it didn't look like a cop car.
Yeah.
But I was just going and then whipped out behind me. I was like, fuck. I knew I was going fast. It was like over 100. So then I pull over and he comes up to my window and he's like, do you know what I pulled you over for? And I was like, oh, I was going a little fast. And he was like, yeah, like I kind of have to take you to jail right now. I damn near shit my pants. Like I was like, let's go. I was just like, I'm sorry, what? He was like, yeah, like you know how fast you were going. I was like, I actually don't know how fast I was going. I was just going with the speed traffic.
It was criminal speeding. Like,
Yeah, criminal
intense criminal speeding.
Oh no, like that was the first. He was like, I need to take you to jail, and I was like, I'm on my way to work. Like I don't really like
Yeah.
have time for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't really want to take you though. And I'm like, yeah, no, like I don't want to go.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, well, I'm just going to give you a ticket and say you were going 90 and a 75. But, like, that was a mistake, right? Like, you just made a mistake. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, I won't ever do it again, I promise. I was, like, crying.
Oh.
You know me, I cry, like, once a day at least. I'm a Pisces.
How often do you cry, Rain?
A lot.
How about you,
guys are- We're
Cisco?
I
sensitive.
cry because they make me cry. I'm just kidding.
That's our jobs.
Anyways, he gave me a ticket, and it was just, like, really chaotic because also I thought my registration expired because I didn't know what day it was, but it didn't. So I was like, also, like, I have my insurance, but, like, I have to find it, and I had to, like, log into the Allstate app and, like, find it. And,
keep
like,
it in your wallet thing, like your online wallet. That's what I do. The insurance card.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, now they all have like the add to wallet
I
option.
should do that. I didn't even think, because I didn't think I'm going to get pulled over.
Yeah.
And then I was like, my registration, I think, is expired. He was like, okay. I was just, like, so chaotic, and I was crying, obviously.
Yeah, we're
And
gonna have 10
also-
comments like easy moan life. They have life on easy
I
moan.
know.
That's the first thing I
It
told her. I
was
was
pretty
like,
privileged. It is pretty privileged. Like, it was
You
like
think so?
You think I would have gone to jail?
multiple. I've picked up my friends
Maybe,
from jail
but,
multiple
like-
times for criminal speeding, like multiple times. My
Okay,
friends.
but I feel like I mean this is the thing. I feel like sometimes people there's like a nice cop or someone gets a break and we automatically assume it's because that person's pretty, or we assume when someone doesn't get a break, it's because that person is of this. And it's true. Pretty people get breaks more often, people of certain races or people that look a certain way, but that doesn't mean every interaction is that. And I think some people don't realize that. Like if Billy Bob gets pulled over and the cop is just being like, all right, you know what, I'll let you off. He doesn't come away thinking it's pretty privilege. He's just like, oh, that was a nice cop. But when it happens to you, it always becomes, or me or you, it always becomes, oh, it's because this person, and that's not always the case. I'm trying to just make sure people don't always assume these things like, oh, these girls got away with it. No, it could have just been a nice cop, and maybe he let 2 men off that same week too. You don't know that.
maybe.
Yeah.
Just from my experiences, my friends who also sped, who were males and black, all went to jail.
I've gotten tickets every
Multiple
time.
times.
Right? And sometimes girls get speeding tickets too.
Yeah, I got a ticket.
Yeah.
It's just like I didn't go to jail. And I probably would have been in that bitch for like 3 days because it's a Friday.
What happened? So I only was pulled over one time.
In that top?
No. I was actually on my way to my law firm to go to work, and I was like on, it was like and I was going fast, and I don't even know like how to get pulled over. So apparently this cop was like trying to pull me over. I just was like not registering it because I just don't. Yeah, I guess. But like I didn't even
get pulled over just for that, for not pulling over.
Yeah, so eventually we're at a red light, and I'm just like, I don't know what I was listening to, probably some podcast. I was just there, and this cop comes to my window, like he parked his car, like we were just waiting for the right to turn green, and he's like, "Are you gonna pull over?" And I was like, "Excuse me?" And he was like, "Are you gonna pull over? I've been trying to pull you over for like 10 minutes." And I was like, "Oh, well, how was I supposed to know?" And he was like, okay. And then you know how embarrassing that is because I'm a lawyer too. So he pulls me over. I got lawyer privilege. Okay, lawyer privilege is really real. So he pulls me over, and then I was like, I don't even know where to go. How did someone get pulled over? He's like, just pull off. Like he was like, this girl's like, something's wrong with her. Like, what do you? I was like, I don't know what you mean. He's like, okay, when the light turns green, like literally pull to the side, and I'll come up behind you. And he's like, okay. So he comes up to me, and he's like, you know, you're going. Well, I wasn't doing like criminal speeding. I was just doing regular speeding. And I'm like, well, sorry, I'm going to work. And I pulled out the lawyer card immediately. I'm like, I've got an attorney. Here's my bar card, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, oh, where do you work? And I was like, I gave him the firm name. And he's just like, oh, okay. Well, like, don't speed next time. Like, that to me is crazier.
You don't think it's anything to do with, like,
no,
the way you look?
No, because he didn't care at first when he's like, pull the fuck over.
Yeah, but like, of course, if he had his lights on for 10 minutes, he thought you were
maybe,
just, like, being
but I
ignorant.
definitely saw his demeanor change when he found out I was a lawyer, because it's kind of like, oh, we operate like in the same, you know, like not always, but a lot of times like cops and lawyers are not enemies. But it's funny because then when I got to my firm, the court runner said the same thing you said. He's like, oh, you were just probably pretty, so he didn't let you.
Yeah, my thing is like, if it was a dude.
It was a dude, yeah.
No, I'm saying if you were a dude driving and they were trying to pull a dude over for 10 minutes, and then he's like, how do I pull over? Like, he would have been fucking livid.
Yeah, that's
It's the fact that it's you and you look like you.
No, and my sister's even worse. Our parents clearly never had this talk with us about like what to do if you get pulled over. I don't know how either of us got our license. My sister one time gets pulled over. She's at her college. And she's so dumb that she pulls over and gets out of the car because she thinks she's supposed to go to his car. And the cop was like, whoa, stop. And she's like, oh, what? So he's like, get back in the car. So she gets back. She's just like literally is. And my sister's a lawyer too, guys. These are the people that are charged with upholding the Constitution.
Fuck's sake.
And she's like working, like she's not like a porn star. She's like a lawyer. So like she does like business litigation, like whatever. And this is literally how I was like, our parents clearly did not teach us how to do life.
He probably would have got shot.
No, I know.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like that.
Because my sister's like 5'1", like cute little girl getting out of her car. So the cop was probably like, what's happening here? But yeah, if it was Cisco getting out of his car, imagine pulling over Cisco and he just jumps out of the car. Oh, game over.
Too soon.
The silence is so loud.
The silence is so loud.
Yeah.
Just to play devil's advocate, it is necessarily true that Cisco is more threatening than we would be.
Yes.
Like if I was somebody who my job all the time is I'm fearing for my life, I'm going to fear much less for my dumbass than for somebody who can actually tackle them.
You always send a girl to do the dirty work.
Well, let me answer this. Who's this? Hello? Hi. Yes. I'll be there Monday. Yes. Perfect. See you guys then. I guess, but every time I see
your appointment
I know. Every time I see 480, I feel like 480, I always am like, oh, it's maybe something important, but it's always like, it's because I don't respond to the confirmation text because I don't respond to any of my texts these days.
Yeah, no, I know. If anyone knows, it's me.
I'm so bad.
I texted Jasmine, put the camera on me. I texted Jasmine on Valentine's Day. Okay, I was just like texting all my girls because, you know, I'm single, right? I texted all my girls that like I care about. Happy Valentine's Day. You know when I got a text from Jasmine? A week later. I'm
currently caught up on all my texts through February 23rd.
My text
As
from
of this
Wednesday,
morning.
you responded this morning. I'm
That's
like,
'cause I
3
caught
days-
up.
3 days. That's a new record for you. That was pretty fast.
Yeah, I actually feels because I'm caught up till the 23rd, but as I was going down, I was stopping at anyone I liked, and so you were there.
No, my thing is like Cisco will be like, oh yeah, I was talking to Jasmine. I'm like, this bitch.
No, Cisco knows. Like it'll take him 3 attempts before.
Yeah, I just keep messaging. See, that's the thing.
You gotta just
Oh,
harass me.
Mine's just a like, hey, like was thinking about you. I haven't seen you in like 3 weeks.
I remember seeing that, and I just looked at it. I was like, aw, and then like,
That's what I
said.
do.
That's what I probably figured. Yeah, I think Rain does that too.
Yeah.
I'm always
Because
like,
I messaged
this
Rain
bitch.
and I'm like, Rain, what's up? I'm like, I thought you were dead. She's like, oh, I'm sorry.
I-
she was with
yeah.
her
I was
parents.
petting my cat.
Yeah, I
Rain
was.
do.
Oh, I think Francisco just gives me anxiety, so I answer like within 5 minutes, or he'll call me.
oh, Cisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
He's like, he'll text me, and if I don't
No,
answer
in the
within 5
beginning,
minutes, I'll
like,
get a FaceTime.
no,
And
yeah,
I'm
in the
like,
beginning, he'd be like, "Are you okay?" Like, and then I think now he just knows that unless like it's been 2 months, then file the police report.
He almost did not let me in.
That was crazy.
Okay, so like I had a little bit of like an anxiety attack this morning. And so like I was having a little bit of a rough morning. You
Yeah.
know, we were listening to NWA on the way here. I was a little bit amped up.
yeah,
So then we get here and like I never have a problem.
yeah, he got straight in.
Everyone's
You
always-
got to come in right away.
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
I'm not threatening.
That's what I'm saying. I literally was like, oh, I'm expecting like the people I normally see
Yeah.
to be like, hey Naomi.
Anytime
what's
there's a
up?"
new person, they fuck up everything.
Yo. Please vouch for me here.
Dude, it was
Even Rain got annoyed.
And then as soon as I called, they
He
were
was-
like, "Oh yeah, sorry, Jasmine, we figured it out." And shut. I was like, "Okay."
I was like, hi, I'm here to see Jasmine. And like I gave them, it was like a couple numbers off, but it was like enough in the like, cause I don't know, I gave them someone else's address that I know.
Oh, okay.
But like the right street.
The right street,
everything,
yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
the first number
But you
was
just
right.
you just missed the first numbers a little. Yeah.
A
Okay.
little bit
Yeah.
off. And they're like, no, we're not seeing it. And I'm like, okay, bro, I come here like multiple times a week.
Yeah, that's what
Like
I said.
I described the
Yeah.
house. And he comes up to my car. He goes, trick question. Does she actually live here? I was like, oh, I'm gonna get out of this
Oh,
car right now.
yes.
I was like, my name is this. I come here multiple times a week. I'm
yeah.
like, I'm not new here.
You're new here.
What's your
Exactly.
name?
Exactly.
I was literally getting so heated.
And when I called
yeah.
them,
No way, he was so nice. to
I
me.
know. It was so weird.
when I called them, they were like, "Yeah, sorry, Jasmine, we see her. We let her through already." And I was like, "What happened? What do you mean?" Like they were acting like,
No. He was being so condescending, and I was like, "That's
Yeah.
my one pet. That's where I get triggered when people speak to me a certain type of way." When we pulled up, like we're cute
Yeah.
girls, like we're like, "Hi, here to see Jasmine." Blah blah blah. Blah. He's like, "Who?"
That was gotta pay you back for the pretty privilege ticket.
comes back
Boom.
around.
Yeah,
I'm like,
so
"What are
not
we gonna
this
do?
time,
Like
pretty.
raid the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Like me and Rain? Like be so fucking
the South
cool."
American gang.
That's us.
That's who I would say.
I'm like, let's be so for real. I'm like, I come here multiple times a week. I know how to get to the house. I just the address maybe a couple numbers off
Yeah,
because
because you don't remember. Yeah, it's like
just
in your.
drive
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
You
I
just
get it.
know.
Yeah.
everyone else.
No,
Hey, what's up, Naomi?
once in a while, even like DoorDash, because I mean, DoorDash is my best friend. Otherwise, I'll starve.
No, I know.
And like, for like maybe once every 3 months, they're like, DoorDash is here. Should we let them in? I'm like, DoorDash is like
do
the
you
number.
think?
I want DoorDash next to me. I want them to be a co-owner of the home.
It's like they're here more than even Cisco and I. Like they're here more than us.
yeah.
You're 3 times a day for 3 square meals a day.
Yeah.
They
So
are.
I'm like, once in a while, I feel like a new person comes or there's some kind of glitch and like it, like, no, you guys never had an issue. Brittany, every time Brittany wants to come, it's like a 50-50 chance that they'll even let, and I'm like, please, my friend Brittany, put her on the list.
Really?
And every time they like, and then last time I was like, I think about Brittany. They're like, oh, we thought you said Brenly. I'm like, okay, dude. I don't
They literally have the wrong name for your
I was
house.
just gonna
They
say
have the
that.
previous owners.
Yeah, so that's why they were like, well, it's under the wrong name. I'm like, whose fault is that?
Yeah.
Even Rain got annoyed. That tells you it wasn't me.
I was kind of sitting there like, is this for real? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I
Thank
see,
you. That
and
makes
like,
me feel so much better because I'm like, if Rain got annoyed,
and there's sometimes where I'll call if it's not somebody I want forever, and I'll be like, hey, like, okay, for instance, American Airlines, they didn't bring my luggage, so someone was delivering it, right?
you
So
lost your luggage.
they left stump. Like as soon as I landed, I got a text like, oh, it's still in LA. It's gonna come on the next flight. So they were gonna deliver it to me, whatever. And there was like, the next flight from LA is like in 2 hours. They're like, they'll bring it to you. I call ahead of time, call security. I'm like, hey, and I even gave them the company. I was like, American Airlines, it might be this person, is coming to deliver my luggage. Let them in, because I was going to an appointment. I was getting my lashes done. I come out of my lashes and there's like 18 missed calls. And finally I call back and they're like, oh yeah, we eventually let them in because we talked to everybody that was, and yeah, the person forgot to put it in, but also it was a different name. Like every time they don't know what they're doing, they say some other name. We should do like a vlog teaching me how to cook. I've been dying. Okay, does anyone know, like, I want a food delivery service that I hate that they're all giving you ingredients and you still have to do something. I'm like, no.
Oh, HelloFresh?
No, all of it. Is there anyone that makes like, other than getting like a cook or a chef?
I mean, there's like Factor.
Like Factor.
Yeah.
Factor? So do they tell you, like, if you're like, order for me, do they say like, I'd pick this, or do they just tell the waiter?
Oh my God. No.
Oh my God, look at.
Oh, Naomi looks so funny.
God, you didn't see me?
Okay, there we go.
Oh, it's dead.
Damn.
All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning into episode, 19? 19 of Thoughts with Thoughts. We're going to have all of our links down below. We're going to go
Film a different type of video. Bye.